Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. Today I wanted to review this Take a Note planner. It is a Taiwanese planner, but this is the A5 English edition. I have opened this already just to take off the cellophane wrap that was on this book, but I haven't really done anything else. So I'm going to attempt to go page by page and zoom in on some of the more smaller pieces, just because I find that when I'm looking for videos of this planner, it's not that popular actually, which I'm kind of surprised because what little bit I've seen, I'm very intrigued. So it comes in this beautiful little box. The planner itself was wrapped in kind of like a cellophane style wrapping, kind of like, you know, if you get like a CD at the store kind of thing where you have to like, or a DVD and you have to like unwrap the whole thing. It's totally not really around anymore. Who uses DVDs? Anyways, and then it comes with these two pieces here. This is a little bookmark. It says Freedom, and it has the months of the year on it. As far as I know, their planners only come in a January start. So this does start in January, and I realize I'm making this video and we're at the end of April. But like I said, I was mainly curious about this planner, mainly due to the binding, first of all, but also because of the contents on the inside. So this is how big it is. It's pretty slim, honestly. I don't have a plain book, unfortunately, to like compare it to. Like my 𝗦𝘃𝗁𝐺𝐵 cousin has been used, my 𝗏 at least, but you can see it's much slimmer than the 𝗏, and I mean, it's not super fluffed out. And then as for the common planner, which is another A5 size book that I'm using right now, this one's really fluffed out, so it's much skinnier than this one as well. So there's that. But the cool thing about this, I find, like I said, is the binding. It's exposed and it is 100% 180-degree flat. So when I open this, the front pages lay flat, which I don't experience with any other planner. Not even the 𝗦𝘃𝗁𝐺𝐵's like lay flat from the get-go on the first page. Usually you have to like kind of break in the first few pages, but this baby, first page, amazing. Anyways, I'm going to do a quick little flip through of this, and then I'm going to kind of share what I may use this for, and then at the end, if you're interested, I have a little bit of an update. So if, I'll leave that down below as a timestamp too, if you're interested in a little life update from me. Anyways, first opening it up, this year's color, the 2024, is this blue color. I've seen in other years they be more of a green color, and then they also had a brown color for the B6 size, which is an entirely different layout from my understanding. But you get the little Flyleaf page here, which is always that awkward page because it's glued to the front. And then you get the year at a glance and what is called, I believe, the Gant Chart page. So I'm going to zoom in on this. For the year at a glance, you start off with the last 4 months of 2023, which is pretty unique. Not a lot of planners do that. They either have only the 2024 months, or they have like 2023, 2024, and 25, like the full years. But this one has the last 4 of 2023, all 12 months of 2024, and then the next 4 months of 2025, which is kind of nice if you like to forward plan it all, like vacations. I typically use my year at a glance pages as tracking pages, either for like appointments, vacation, my menstrual cycle, any dates I'm going on with my boyfriend, whatever, stuff like that. So this is a nice kind of layout to see the last little bit of the year and the little bit of the new year. For the Gant chart page, this is what it looks like. It is very small compared to most planners that I use anyways. You get a lot more space in more like an index style of pages, which is actually later, but this is like an extra additional page for this planner, the Take a Note planner. So it has the month number, so 1 being January, and then you have the days of the month, so 1 through 31, and then since this is the English version, it gives you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you had the Taiwanese edition, as far as I know, you would get the little Taiwanese characters. What I have noticed is since you only really have 2 spaces that you could write down things to track, you could easily use a highlighter and use the top and the numbers and also the days of the week if you wanted to track like 4 things on this page. I honestly would probably use this for either tracking like exercise, like running, if I'm going to the gym, maybe like a step count, something like that, something with numbers, because I feel like it's set up really easily to just track a number style thing, like number of miles I ran or how many minutes I meditated, even like whatever. I think it's set up really nicely for a number type style chart. The next couple of pages are, like I said, those index pages. I'm sorry, I just can't get over this binding, how it lays like perfectly flat right from the go. It's so cool. What's unique about this is you get a lot more space here at the bottom than on your typical planners, but you sacrifice that space at the top. So again, I'm going to zoom you guys in for this. So starting off at the top of the page, you get the numbers of the month, the name of the month, and then you have like a little bitty space that you could write down, maybe like, I don't know, one memory or what you want to track if you wanted to use this as like a habit tracker. It's a very small space. If I were to take a little ruler to it, it is like 1/2 centimeter of space. It's pretty tiny, but that's okay. I like tiny grids, so this is 100% up my alley. You then get the days of the week and month or whatever, so 1 through 31 or 1 through 28, 30, whatever it is. And do note that all of the weekends are in a brownish text and all of the other text or print in this is more of like a grayish color. The brown is very faint. It is very much, I don't know, easy on the eyes. It's not like the red of the 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝗄, and then it's not as plain as like the Sterling ink common planners, where hers are just totally neutral, only kind of like a grayish black text. I will say you do get quite a few spaces here if you wanted to use this as a tracker or just to write down enough for an index. You have 11 blank grid squares, and then again, like the Gantt chart, you could easily use a highlighter or a dot marker or something and use the first 2 columns as well. So that would give you 13 squares across for each month, which is a lot. I believe the 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝗄 has 10, and then the common planner also has 10. As for below all of this, on the very bottom of the section here, like I said, you get quite a bit of blank space. It's not even broken up with a little monthly section here. It's literally just totally blank all the way across. There's no delineating lines or anything. It's just a nice blank space at the bottom. You could easily do this as like a year-long tracking space. I like to use my space like this for memories, so I'll just like use a sticker or something of like different memories for that month. I've seen people do it as like a doodle every month, or if they wanted to do like their budget tracking, anything like that. This is a really nice, generous space for that. So you get all 12 months, January through June, and then July through December, and then after the more index or codex, or whatever you want to call this style of pages, you go straight into your monthlies. So you get December of the previous year, so in this case, December 2023, all 12 months of the current year, and then you get January, February, and March of the following year. So this would be 2025 for this planner. And then after that, you move on into your weeklies. But I want to zoom in on the monthlies really quick. So we're just going to use December of 2023 as an example because it was a 6-week month, and I think that's a really good way to look at this because it's using up most of the space on the page. So one of the things that really intrigued me about the monthlies is that you have so much space around the outside to do whatever you want here. So you have your monthly section here in the middle. If it was a 5-week month, it would be dead center on the pages. And then if it's a 6-week, you have those extra days down here on the bottom. All of the monthly squares are evenly spaced. Nobody is cut in half. Nobody is smaller than the other ones. So like with the 𝗦𝘃𝗍𝗄, if you had a monthly section, those boxes are usually cut in half. But with the common planner, those boxes are also fully the same size as well. You just don't have the space around like this one does. So what I have seen people do with this is you have like a space here and a space here. You could do like a before the month intention and then an after month review. I've seen people do like weekly intentions for each of the weeks of the month because it's kind of got delineating lines over here. And then it also has these boxes over here. You could easily use this for tracking, budgeting, whatever. And then you also have this massive space here at the bottom. Well, okay, not massive. It's like another monthly square size box section at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and show you guys a little bit more close-up of this, just because I know looking at it from far away is kind of difficult, especially if you're on a phone or a computer. I like to zoom in on things. So like I said, at the top of the planner and the monthly sections, you get this nice blank space here. The text for each of the months is this kind of brownish color, again with that gray as well. So like brown and gray is kind of the color scheme of these planners, at least for this year. I do believe they do make minor changes, but I'll have to confirm that if I get one for 2025. The header of the weekdays is probably the boldest thing on this page, being that it is filled in with white text. Again, gray for Monday through Friday, and the weekends are this kind of like brownish color. So nice big blank space here at the top, really quite beautiful. Then on the side, you get, like I said, those kind of blank weekly sections. They do have a very faint delineating line for each week. You could easily write the week number here, which it does not have listed, which I think is kind of interesting. So you could easily add the week number and then put in anything here that you want. So like you could use this as a grocery list for the month, meal planning for the month, like this week we're having this, this, and this, and this. Literally the options are totally endless with this. Monthlies are kind of a difficult thing for me to use, if I'm being honest, so coming up with ideas is one of my short sides. Anyways, on the other side, like I said, you have even more space. So from the right of the planner, you get this nice chunky column, and then on the left of the planner, you get the nice chunky column, and then on the right side, you get this other little box, which is about the same size as a monthly square. I would honestly probably use this as budgeting, like, you know, spending in and out for each week or something like that. Then at the bottom, like I said, usually if you don't have that 6-week month, you have another nice long blank space all the way across, and everything is gridded. So inside the months is gridded, everything is gridded except for like the little section at the top for each monthly day has a little blank bar, which I think is kind of interesting, but I don't see that as a really big deal. One other thing I want to mention really quick is each of these pages has page numbers. So currently December, so the monthlies start on page 32 or 22, no, 32 in this planner. They are very tiny. I don't even know if the camera is going to focus on that. Anyways, the page numbers are very tiny, but each page is numbered starting from page 1 being all the way here at the front. So it doesn't say page number 1 on here, but it is page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moving on into the weekly section of the book / dailies. This is how everything is laid out. So you don't have a page per day like the 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝐻𝗄 cousin, or you don't have really any blank note pages in here. You have a few at the back, but it's pretty much this for the rest of the planner. You have a little weekly section, and then you have half a page per day. So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that worked out because January started on the 1st this year. And on a Monday too, that's so interesting. But yeah, so you have half a page per day, and the weekends again are that kind of brownish color. Even the grid is kind of brownish with that. It is really not that jarring to me personally, but I like brown. Anyways, it's not that jarring. I will say in other planners where it's like red or like even a bright blue color, that is a bit more jarring to me than the brown is. But I'm going to zoom in really quick and go over the weekly sidebar here. So you start off with the month number, the month name, and the year, and then they give you this little small calendar box with the week that you're on kind of encircled, which I don't mind. I usually cover those up if I'm being honest, but it's okay. And then for the weekly section, you have Monday through Sunday down here. So we go Monday all the way through Sunday. Again, the weekends are kind of like that brownish text. It's only the text on here, not the grid though. But you have a nice good chunk of space per day for this. You could easily write down events and appointments for the week, meal plan in this section. The options are pretty endless, honestly. And if you don't use weeklies very much, you just need a space to write down like a daily to-do list or something. This is honestly a really good way to use a schedule. If you don't like scheduling things in your phone or you like to use paper, schedule it here and then you have it for the rest of the week. And you just have to flip through this page instead of having to flip through another section of the book. For the dailies, like the half a page per day, at the top you get the day number, the moon phase, and then the day of the week. So Monday is usually when it's going to start because this is a Monday start planner. Then you have a little blank section here at the top that's just gridded. And then it has a timeline that starts at 6 a.m. and goes all the way to 3 a.m. I would definitely say it's a 24-hour timeline if you needed it to be. It's just those are the numbers they have on here. I do also want to mention that it follows a military time, since it is, 1 through 24, 24 being midnight. So if you aren't used to a military time blocking schedule, that may be an adjustment. I personally think it's great. I do also want to mention that on the dailies, it has a very, very faint shaded bar here. It's just 2 grid spaces deep, and it is all the way across, and it's around 12 to 1, so noon to 1 p.m. And I believe this is meant to be used as like a lunch break time, or like a time to take a break throughout the day. Honestly, the shading is very, very light. It's not very jarring at all. Easily could be written over, and I don't even think you would notice it if you had a bunch of other stuff going on the page. So pretty much every week continues on like that. You don't get any kind of break between the weeks. They just keep going. So you have like week after week after week. Every start of the week, so every Monday, you get that nice weekly spread with the 7 days here, and then through the rest of the week. Again, it's the same. So every weekend will be on a right side page, and it'll always be in that brown kind of grid or brown kind of text as well. And then the Monday through Friday is on the other pages, so left pages, I guess. And it's in that grayish writing. The English edition does not have any of the Taiwanese holidays. There are no holidays at all in this book. So if you are somebody who likes holidays, probably don't pick up this planner. The tabbing system it has is much like the 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝗍 cousin in that it just is printed on the page and it's only on one side. And they do alternate in color. So it goes from like kind of a grayish color to like a brownish color back to gray, brown, etc. through the whole rest of the months. And it is only in the like weekly daily section. So gray, brown, gray, brown, gray, brown, all the way through the end. So for this specific planner, since it is through the end of 2024, it does include the 1st of January of 2025 as a daily page, and also the rest of that week, just because that is the last week that December falls on. Even though majority of it is January, it's still going to include it since it is majority of, still is the end of 2024. After the weeklies in this book, you get some grid pages. So these grid pages are a little bit different. They have the standard grid throughout, but they also have a larger grid square to it as well, and little dots that make it easy to break up the page. So this is probably going to be really tough for the camera to pick up on because it is very faint, but it has the whole grid page, and then it has like a bigger square grid that's probably 5 by 5 grids, and then it also has these little dots which the camera might be able to pick up as well, and that's like a halfway point, and then it has little dots over here on the side as well for like a third way too. So if you wanted to split the page in thirds or halves, it has that. These pages are numbered as well, so we're at page 252 when these note pages start, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4 notes pages, and the book ends on page 255. The last page is technically the name page, and it is in the back of the book, which is pretty common in most of your like Japanese, Taiwanese planners. Just they put everything at the back. I personally usually put my name and stuff in the front, but I don't really mind that this page is in the back and that it's a Flyleaf page because I would likely end up just gluing this together because these pages honestly really annoy me. But yeah, that is it for the planner itself. It is very simple. And really, I just cannot get over the binding on this. Just like how flat it lays is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know if I'm going to be setting this up on camera with you guys, but if you would like to see what I'm going to use it for, let me know down in the comments because I'm definitely excited to try this out. One more thing I will mention before I go into my little life update. The paper on this is 62 GSM Tomoe River paper. I believe it is the new Sanzen, but I'm going to have to double check before I confirm that. But it is 62 GSM and not the 52 GSM like the 𝗬𝗏𝗁𝗍. So it's a little bit thicker, which I kind of like as well, even though it's going to have less pages than like a day per page kind of situation. Okay, now if you are here for this part of the video, I have a little bit of a life update. So I recently celebrated my birthday, which is kind of, I don't know, I try not to make it a big deal, but I think I should make it a big deal. And I was surprised with a Kindle for my birthday, and I was so excited. I have recently been getting back into my reading hobby and really just got, I guess, overwhelmed and wanted to just read for this week, and so I did. I wanted to mention that I got all of these stickers from Amazon, and I am a sticker shop myself, and I probably will end up making some stickers to put in Kindles, just because was so fun. I will try to tag anything I used, but I wanted to show you guys the setup of my Kindle and that I got the agave green version. So I have this clear case here. I have a few stickers just kind of emulating the books I like to read, and then I got this nice little ring so I can hold the Kindle upwards or downwards with my left hand or my right hand. I like this better than the pop socket because I feel like I have to hold the pop socket like this, versus the ring I can just slip it on my hand like this and do whatever I want with it. Anyways, I did not get the signature edition, I guess, or whatever it is, where it takes the ads out. I don't really mind the ads, they don't really bother me at all, but I did put a clear case on this and I'm really happy about it. All that to say, if you like to read fantasy books, or any kind of like otherworldly books, I would love to hear your book recommendations. I have read all of the Sarah J Maas ACOTAR books. I'm currently about to dive into the Throne of Glass world, which is going to be a very long read. I have tried to read the Shadow and Bone series. I like historical romance, like the Outlander series, anything kind of like a fantasy world. I also read Powerless by, I think it's Lauren Roberts. Yeah, I also read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have some other books on here that are on my reading list, and I wanted to also talk about my recent introduction to the Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I got a lot of questions about that, so I just want to chat for a minute. So basically, you can stuff your Kindle with free books on certain days of the year. From my understanding, they do like 7 days or something a year, and I went to romancebooklovers.com. That was the one that they hosted on my birthday, actually, which is April 23rd, which I thought was wild. So thank you to everybody who messaged me about that. But it's romancebooklovers.com, and they basically have a list of titles from, I think they're considered indie authors, or self-published authors even. I'm not 100% sure, but they give you a list and a brief synopsis of each of the books, and then you can go to the Amazon desktop website to look them up and just make sure that they were $0. I also found that if you go to the Amazon website on the desktop and you just type in free Kindle books and whatever genre you're looking for, it will give you a huge list of those. You just may have to read through some of the titles to see if there's anything you're really looking for. All that to say, I am very happy with this little Kindle. I am just enjoying it so much. I love the idea of having a library in my hands. It's really quite cool. And I also am excited to finally get to be able to read at night, which is something that I honestly really like to do. And if you have people in your house that don't like to have lights on when it's dark outside, you understand what I'm saying when having a nice soft lit Kindle is game changing when it comes to reading at night. Anyways, that's it for my little life update. I wanted to share this because I was really excited, and yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys. Anyways, that is all for this video. Again, like I said, I would love to hear your thoughts on this planner if you have one, or if you would like to see how I'm going to set this up, and then also if you have any of those book recommendations like I talked about. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching and for joining me here today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.